So, a very warm welcome to this workshop organized under the Knowledge Incubation under the Technical Education Quality Improvement Program, supported by the Ministry of Human Resources Development, Government of India. This is a workshop on wavelets and their applications. What I mean by that is really wavelets, time frequency methods, filter banks, and any associated theme in signal processing, communication, or any field. In fact, this field is very widely applied in many branches of engineering and science. So, we decided that we would choose this as a topical theme for the workshop to be organized jointly between IIT Bombay and an institution which is also supported by the Technical Education Quality Improvement Program, namely VJTI. Many of us are from IIT Bombay, but I would like to say a little bit about VJTI. VJTI is a very well reputed institution located in Mumbai, in fact in the heart of Mumbai. It has been a very reputed institution for several years. In fact, I believe it is close to its centenary. And the Technical Education Quality Improvement Program supports institutions that have proved themselves in more ways than one. Of course, this TechQuip program is meant for the institutions other than the IIT's IISc because they have direct support from the ministry. So, the TechQuip program itself does not deal with the IITs directly, but the Indian Institutes of Technology, at least a few of them which have been established for several years, have been requested by the ministry to organize certain nodal activities under the TechQuip program. And this endeavor is titled the Knowledge Incubation under TechQuip, supported by, as I said, MHRD or the Ministry of Human Resources Development. This is to give a background to this whole workshop today. And the objective of these nodal activities, as you might call them, nodal meaning that you bring together certain TechQuip institutions in and around Mumbai near IIT Bombay to organize activities of pedagogy, research and development, institutional strengthening, anything that leads to the strengthening of educational institutions, particularly the TechQuip supported ones, but possibly also other institutes of repute. So, this is the philosophy. The IITs are expected under this endeavor to bring together people from the IITs and premier institutes in and around Mumbai for IIT Bombay and correspondingly for some of the other IITs, IIT Kanpur for example, Delhi, Roorkee, Kharagpur, Chennai and so on. Now, before we proceed, I would like to place on record today my gratitude to the ministry. The ministry of course supports IIT directly, but it has also instituted this program in the institutes of, in the IITs. It has also coordinated the TechQuip program across several institutions, and I believe it's a very important endeavor in national education. So, in a way, we are all very proud to be a part of this endeavor today, even if in a small way. The aim of this particular workshop is largely pedagogical in nature, though it also might suggest research and developmental points to be pursued. Wavelets, time frequency methods, filter banks, and time frequency conflict in signal processing or image processing or communication has been a long standing subject of research. In fact, as many of us would know, those who've brought out applications, this subject is not specific to electrical engineering. It has been found in one or the other way in many disciplines. That's because there is something very fundamental about the time frequency conflict. It is seen in different avatars, if you want to call it that, manifestations in different disciplines. In electrical engineering, it is understood as the conflict between the time and the frequency domain for a communication engineer or signal processing researcher. In the earth sciences, for example, it is also understood as a time frequency conflict, but there they also interpret it in terms of being able to localize in phenomena, geoscientific phenomena in time and geoscientific phenomena on a frequency plane. In the biomedical sciences, it is interpreted as a conflict of being able to see details in a particular area of the signal, in a particular region of the signal. And even more differently in physics, the uncertainty principle is known much more actually, but as a conflict between positional and momentum localization or time interval and energy localization. Whatever it is, it springs from a fundamental principle in nature. It's not something that is caused by today's technology or today's limitations of engineering. It's something fundamental that gives rise to the subject of wavelets, time frequency methods, filter banks, and their design and implementation application. And that's one of the good reasons why we've chosen this subject. It typically is an advanced subject in most disciplines. And we of course treat it that way in most disciplines. In IIT Bombay also, we treat it as an elective, a graduate elective, a pre-doctoral course, if you might want to call it that. And in other institutes also, I have known it to be treated as an advanced subject, a graduate advanced subject. Advanced though it might be, the principles that govern it are very fundamental. And the interesting thing is that many applications, there are many manifestations, there are many applications of this whole idea. And today our objective is actually to explore some of those applications. We are very happy to have with us several participants from VJTI, Mumbai, and several participants from our own home institution, IIT Bombay. And in addition to the exploration of applications and themes that are of importance in this subject, we look forward to this being an event where many participants from this home institution and VJTI mingle with one another, exchange ideas, get to know about one another's methodologies of pedagogy, of learning, of teaching, of instruction, of research, of development, of exploration, and carry away with them memories of this workshop which would enrich their academic experience in their respective institutions. Now, before we proceed to the actual event, I would like to complete certain formalities of inauguration and the commencement of this workshop. We decided not to have too formal an inauguration. I mean, all of you have assembled here and had a cup of tea and some refreshment together. And we are now just going to do a little bit of, introduction to the people who have helped organize this workshop. And I believe we should then place on record a vote of thanks for them before we actually commence the academic proceedings of the workshop. So I would like first to invite upon the stage Professor E. Chandrasekhar of the Department of Earth Sciences, IIT Bombay, who is and Professor E. Chandrasekhar works in the area of wavelets and their applications in the earth sciences, and I am going to request him to say a word or two, in this connection to illustrate to you how wide the applicability of this field is. He has been doing some very seminal work in the use of wavelets, time frequency methods, and techniques springing from them towards analysis of Earth's phenomena and coming to conclusions on geoscientific issues. More importantly, today he has been the backbone of putting this workshop together. He has supervised the whole process, and without his guidance and his, without his direct involvement, it would have been difficult to put all the details of the workshop together. So, I would like to, but before that, I would also like to introduce some other people who have contributed very significantly. In fact, just as Professor Chandrasekhar has been significantly involved in organizing this event from the side of IIT Bombay, I would like to call upon Professor Rahul Ingre. So, Professor Rahul Ingre is a faculty member in the Department of Electrical Engineering at VJTI, and from the VJTI side, he has been very active in putting this event together, and as this is a TechWhip event and meant to be jointly organized, the marriage of the two institutions was very essential, and it's important that there be parties from both sides of the marriage really. So therefore, Professor Rahul Ingre has been very active in making this a success by talking to his own colleagues and his own students at VJTI, and I'm very glad to inform you that we have several participants here. I believe more than 15 to 20 parts, more than that, who have come from VJTI especially for this, and we expect them to tell us a lot about what they're doing and also gain a lot in this process. Now, in addition, I would like to invite the 4 teaching associates. You see, we are now teaching a course on wavelets this semester. The course is called Wavelets at IIT Bombay. In fact, in a way, we leveraged the work done by our students in the domain of wavelets to put this event together so that there would be an enriching experience both for our students and also for the students of VJTI, and in fact for some other students, a few other students who have come from a couple of other places. And the 4 teaching associates with this course have again played a very vital role in making this event a success. So I'd like to call upon stage the 4 teaching associates of the course. So maybe you can come behind, or you can stand on either side of me. You have to raise your respective hands, when, yeah. So I'd like to start with the coordinating teaching associate, who is a PhD student, Ankit Bhurane, right on the left side of me. Ankit, you raise your hand here to tell me who you are. And then I have Shudipto Mondal, followed by Joy Parthapratim Khan, and Nihar Jathar. So Ankit happens to be a student of the PhD program in electrical engineering, and Shudipto, Joy, and Nihar happen to be students of the dual degree BTech plus MTech program in electrical engineering with a specialization in communication and signal processing. And they are in the final year of their dual degree program, 5-year dual degree program in this discipline. And they are teaching us, all of them are teaching associates to this course. In addition to, of course, assisting the instructor in the conduct of the course, they play a vital role in the processes of evaluation, of appraisal, and in this particular case, they have played a very vital role in organizing this event. So I do hope we haven't missed anybody out in terms of the organizational effort. Have we? Have we taken into account everybody who? Yes, I just thought, we shouldn't leave. Anyway, even if we have by chance, yes. Oh yes, of course, how could I forget? Now, yeah, I mean, in fact, I want to call them separately. So, I thought we'll, sort of place on record the efforts of the staff also, but, in the next round. So I was first talking about the academic side. So from the academic side, we have these people who have, made a very significant difference the way this thing has happened. And now I would also like to, so I thank all of you and we look forward to your participation, and now we'd like to, call the staff who have helped in the administration. So let's give them a very big hand for their. Now, of course, the very important part of this event is all of you, because without all of you, this event wouldn't have happened. So I think we should first give yourselves a big hand too. it's very difficult for this. Now you see, one thing that you have to understand is that all of you have suddenly been transformed into film stars now, because you are going to be captured on camera, so you have to do a good job, isn't it? So I mean, you always had it in you, all of you always had it in you to be film stars, but today it's actually manifested. So you have to make a good presentation, and we'll do it as follows. I'll just explain the whole process. So in the beginning, we are going to have 2 sessions, and we are going to have half the groups present in the first forenoon session and the other half present in the afternoon session with a lunch break in between. Now, a few administrative announcements. All participants, including those from VJTI and from IIT Bombay, need to register formally and sign, and that will be done after this. We have the list of participants from both institutions. You need to sign, you collect your registration kit. I believe some of you might have done it, but the others who have not done it will do so with the assistance of the teaching associates and the organizers. This of course also holds for the invitees of the event. All of you are requested to register formally, because we would like to keep track of who came for the event and how the experience was. But more importantly, we also want to know, the number of presentations and so on. So we roughly have half the presentations in the forenoon session and half in the afternoon session. And that means that those who are not presenting in a given session are required to go around and make a peer evaluation of the presentations in that session. Now for the IIT Bombay participants, we have already given them detailed instruction on how this should be done. For the VJTI participants, I'll just briefly introduce you to the process. So I recommend, with Professor Rahul's help, that you divide yourself into 2 halves in terms of groups. Let one half present in the morning and one half in the afternoon. And the ones not presenting in a given session are expected to evaluate the presentations that are being made in that session. Now in the beginning of a session, we shall have each group which is making a presentation in that session come and speak only for 1 or at most 2 minutes. So we'll give you a warning after 1 minute, and you will not be allowed to go above 2 minutes, to tell us in a very small very small exposition. That really means about 2 to 3 sentences. In 1 minute you can't say more than that really. What you are going to present. Now the reason for that is we get a good feel from that, what is the gamut of themes being addressed in that particular session. Now all this process is not only to learn about the applications of wavelets. I told you this is a workshop organized under the aegis of KIT, Knowledge Incubation under TechWhip, MHRD, and we're keeping a record of this. We intend to circulate records of this later, video records of this, to people who are interested, because it's not only from an academic or from a thematic perspective that we are looking at the proceeds of this workshop, but also a pedagogical perspective. In today's instruction and today's learning, such kinds of events are required for subjects to be understood effectively. And how is this experience of a student and of a teacher in this whole process of group presentation is also to be captured. So it's very important that we take this not only as an academic, not only as an exercise in the specific subject in which the workshop is being organized, because you cannot organize a workshop like this without a subject behind it, but then pedagogy is also implicit. So although there is an overt emphasis on the subject, there's also covert emphasis on the pedagogy behind an advanced elective or an advanced subject of this kind, and that should also be experienced. So each process that we go through here is not only for the sake of learning the subject, but also the pedagogy, to share pedagogical experiences, the experience of how one teaches and learns. So with that background, it's very important that we stick to the time, that we make use of the initial presentations for not more than 2 minutes, but preferably a minute or so, to expose the whole audience on what the theme is going to be of your presentation. So we get an idea of the gamut of the themes expected in that session. I expect that to take Well, we expect about 18 to 20 groups from IIT in each session, and I believe about 5 to 10 groups of VJTI, I believe, or whatever small number there is, and that really amounts to not more than 45 minutes to 1 hour, for the initial part. And it's very important, and since it's going to be one after the other, it's obvious that you cannot make your presentation long because it will become boring. People will lose interest in what you're presenting if you make it too long in the beginning. So don't give away all the details and the secrets. Leave some secrets for when people come to see what you're exhibiting, right? So just tell them a little bit. It's like an advertisement which you're making for your exhibition, and an advertisement is always short and sweet. I think you've seen, a trailer is never 1 hour long. A trailer is always a couple of minutes or a few seconds. And if a trailer is any longer than that, nobody goes and watches that movie. So that's also true of exhibitions. So make your trailer, make your advertisement very small. You can make it as effective as you like, but use only 1 minute and definitely not more than 2 minutes. And the additional minute given to you is just for transition largely. Now what we will do is we will call, you must have the groups queued up here, so we don't waste time. You come here, you make a presentation of about 1 minute of what you're going to talk about, what you're going to exhibit, and then go away and let the next person come immediately. So we don't lose any time. It must be very quick. So you must make a queue and make your, so those who are presenting in the first session will now start queuing. Now without further ado, let's begin with this whole process of presentations, and let's invite the first set of groups, right? So the odd numbered groups of IIT, you can come and queue up. So we'll go in order, group number 1, 3, 5 and so on. So you can start queuing up, and meanwhile Professor Rahul can coordinate with the VJTI people to identify which of them will make a presentation in the first half. Thank you.
Piyush Sahai and Anil Kumar Yadav and Meghasham. Ajit Singh, Anu Kumar, Vijay Kumar and Deepak Kumar.
Good morning to all of you. We are using the chirp waveform. We are using the fractional Fourier transform method to detect radar target with better accuracy. So in generally radar we are using the chirp waveform. Chirp waveform is a transmitting waveform. So we are doing the match filter. Generally we do the match filtering to detect the target, but match filtering will provide the range inaccuracy if our pulse width is more. Generally we do the pulse width more to increase the SNR of the target, but to avoid this problem we propose the FRFT as a solution. FRFT is a fractional Fourier transform. Fractional Fourier transform will give the accurate range accuracy which match filter cannot able to give in case of high pulse width. This technique is mainly employed in pulse Doppler radars. My partner is Anil Kumar and Meghasham. So this is all the summary.
I would request all the teams to not to dwell into the technical depth of all the project that they are including, only the input and the output, and just a brief idea of what exactly the project does. It's sort of like a trailer, like you don't want to go into the details of all the technical aspects. And Ajit Singh. Then Anup Kumar, Vijay Kumar, Deepak Kumar. Deepak Kubade and Chandresh Kumar.
Good morning all. Myself Deepak Kubade and he is my partner Chandresh Kumar. Topic of our application assignment is wavelet based denoising in visible light communication. Visible light communication is kind of optical wireless communication. So communication is carried out by white LED, and there is a challenge, the interference or say noise is due to the fluorescent light. So we will see the rest of the part in presentation.
So I'm Karthik Sharma, and these are my teammates Vignesh and Parth. And our project is on beat detection in music signals using discrete wavelet transform. So beats are the most prominent periodicities in the music signal. So we'll be using the discrete wavelet transform to estimate the beat frequency in beats per minute. And we have an online software to which we'll allow the participants to tap and manually calculate the beat frequency, and we'll compare it with our results.
Hi everybody, I'm Mrinal, Shivangi and Ashwarya. Our broad topic for the application assignment is pattern recognition. In that we are focused on optical character recognition. So in this we have used the ring projection based, fractal based wavelet method. So like fractal wavelet in one domain, in one dimension is computationally more easy, and the work done in that is more than 2D. So first we have converted from the 2D image to a 1D image using ring projections. Once we have the ring projection, we have used Dobeschi for wavelet transform to get the feature vectors. And these feature vectors, like this was the extraction part, feature extraction part. And these features are then used for classification. So for classification, we have used the minimum distance, like Euclidean distance comparison in a training set. So yeah, that is a broad overview. Thank you.
Hello everyone, myself Khushal. These are my partners Nachiket Dev and Nitish Mittal. We have worked on application of wavelets in biometric images. We are focused on fingerprint images, and we are using dual tree complex wavelet transform developed by Professor Selesnik, and we will be using we'll be extracting some features from the fingerprint images and accordingly classify the images on the basis of users. Yeah, we are introduced.
Good morning, all. Myself Trijit KM, and my partner is Krishna Mohan M. We have worked on image compression techniques using discrete wavelet transform, which is employed in JPEG 2000. Earlier versions of JPEG used a discrete cosine transform. So we have worked on whatever advantages or whatever is in developments we can get by using a wavelet transform instead of cosine transform. So we have compared the retrieved images with the original one and done a noise analysis. And what are the scalability we could achieve with this discrete wavelet if we use discrete wavelet transform. Thank you.
Myself Ritesh Priyankar. We will be presenting basically image compression using embedded zero tree wavelet transforms. So basically it's a recursive transform, and as the image size increases, the quality of the image also increases. It's basically lossy or lossless image transform. Details would be in the presentation.
Hello everyone, my name is Vaibhav Sabu. This is my group member with us. We will be presenting on white space estimation using wavelet transforms. White spaces are basically unutilized frequencies which have been left due to technological advancements. We will be using the wavelet modulus maxima based edge detection techniques. Our input will be the power spectral density, and the output will be a text file which will show which bands are empty. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. I am Mr. Renuka Prasad and my teammate Mohammad Junaid Ansari. Our theme is wavelet application of wavelet on in high resolution radar. In the arena of high resolution radar, basically we use pulse compression technique to obtain very high resolution. But when we want to improve the high resolution, like in case of ultra wideband radars, then we need to use something called wavelet modulation. So we have used some unique property of the wavelets, that is the autocorrelation, which results into sync pulses and narrows down the pulse so that we will be able to achieve a better resolution. So we have attempted, and then we have simulated the waveforms to achieve a very high resolution pulse at the output. Thank you.
Hello all, I am Abhijit. This is Sanjeev and Mukesh. The topic of our application assignment is enhancement using wavelet transform in medical images. Medical imaging is a technique where we take visual images of our human body, and various techniques are used to enhance particular regions of that images. We have used wavelet transform, and we have used the technique known as image contour enhancement, wherein such parts of images like the bone part in X-rays have been enhanced. Yeah, that's it.
Like, so we were using a fast Fourier transform for solving different partial differential equations. Now we have developed a way to solve these, and then we have also done a basic extrapolation on the boundaries, and we can solve different boundary value problems using wavelets.
Good morning friends, I am Anand from Material Science Department, IIT Bombay. So we have used wavelets to solve partial differential equation. Earlier we were using fast Fourier transform. So the advantage with wavelets is we could carry out a wavelet extrapolation on boundaries and could solve a Dirichlet problem, which was not possible using fast Fourier, because fast Fourier does a periodic boundary condition. So we could first replicate the results which were produced using fast Fourier and then go on to do a wavelet extrapolation to solve boundary value problems. So this is the problem that I'm going to explain.
Hello everyone, my name is Amit and he is my group partner Rohan and Rishitosh. So we are using wavelets for blood vessel segmentation in fundus image. So fundus image is an image of a retina of an eye. So blood vessels there are affected by several diseases. So highlighting those blood vessels and automating this process would speed up the diagnosis. So we are using Gabor wavelet. So Gabor wavelet have a unique property that different orientation of a Gabor wavelet would highlight different edges which are oriented in different direction. Also spread of a Gabor wavelet along both the dimensions would highlight particular type of blood vessels. So we are using these properties to highlight blood vessels in the fundus image. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Hardik and my teammates are Lavesh and Mahesh. Our topic is motion compression and estimation of video coding using DWT. So in today's scenario, there is a continuous growth in the volume of video data. So there is a need to reduce the amount of data that is to be stored and transferred. So motion estimation is a technique which reduces the temporal redundancy between two adjacent frames. Hence, we will be implementing a video coder and encoder and a decoder in MATLAB and showing how we can get higher compression ratios with having a good signal quality. So wavelet is one thing which fits good into this picture, giving good transform, having high compression ratio and providing a good quality image. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I am Tanmay. He is my partner Naveen. So what we have done is we have used discrete complex wavelet transform to find the depth from a stereo pair. So what is I will explain in brief what is depth reconstruction from stereo pair. What happens in binocular stereo vision, when we see at an object, we form two images with our two eyes, and our brain combines it to make it one image, and from this, with this process, the depth is also calculated. So from a given stereo pair, we can find the depth of every point of the scene from the disparity of the points, and we have used the complex wavelet transform to find the disparity from given two images, and then we have calculated the depth. Thank you. This is our project.
Good morning everyone. I am Pushkar Shirvalkar and these are my group members Mukul Ratwani and Rishikesh Bansor. The theme of our application assignment is application of wavelets to biometrics on the basis of human iris individuality. So iris being an internal organ of human is the most unaffected by external environment. So we take iris images as input, process them with the help of Gabor wavelets and generate feature vectors corresponding to each and every individual iris image. Then depending upon the Hamming distance calculated between the two feature vectors, we generate the decision of the biometric system. Thank you very much.
Hi guys, I'm Somashekar, this is Neeraj Gopal and that is Madhu Kiran. Our assignment theme is application of wavelets in economics. So we have worked on financial markets. The financial markets has a huge amount of data, and in general to make an informed decision it is pretty difficult. So we have used discrete wavelet transform and stationary wavelet transform to give us some insights into how the market might move in the future. So along with that, we have also used some AR modeling in order to help us predict the future values. So that's it. Thanks.
Morning, this is Vishal. This is my team, Rakesh and Nageshwara. Our application is to implement wavelets in orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. In generally, we will use FFT blocks and IFT blocks in OFDM. We will use DWT and IDWT in this project. So by this, we will reduce the bit error rate and reduce the interest symbol interference and also increase the data rate. So I can explain briefly in the upcoming. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my topic is application of wavelets in computational electromagnetics. Specifically, I'll be working on the MRTD method, which is an alternative to the grid-based methods used in computational electromagnetics like FDTD. So our method makes use of multi-resolution analysis and gives a better discretization of the entire space as compared to FDTD. In particular, I'm focusing on a simple 1D formulation of a TEM wave, and we study the propagation of the wave across an open space. I'm Akhil from electrical engineering.
Hi, I'm Ashwin. These are my team members Ankit and Sumit. So our topic is forecasting of oil prices using wavelets. So basically, we have the futures market in which we have certain contracts on the basis of which oil is traded. So we wanted to determine if these contracts are really efficient. So we've done a wavelet analysis of the oil prices and come up with our own predictions to check whether they are matching with the contracts. So we've done a wavelet decomposition using a Doboshi's wavelets of our time series, and we've interpolated the signals using a few methods like univariate splines, radial basis functions, and trigonometric fitting. And we've reconstructed our extended signals, and then we get a forecasted estimate of the oil prices in the future. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. Myself Rahul Lingde, Professor Rahul Lingde from VJTI Electrical Engineering Department. Two of my colleagues are working on the wavelet on one of the application. One is she is Yugandhara Meshram, and another one is the Prajakta Phulpatil. They are working under me for one of the topic which they will describe.
Hello, good morning everyone. I am Yugandhara and this is my group member Prajakta. We are basically studying the effect of meditation on human brain and we are analyzing the EEG signal that are the brain waves, and we are going to compare it with the signals recorded of the meditators and non-meditators. So this analysis we are going to do with the help of wavelets.
Hello everyone. We are using wavelets for edge detection. We are using wavelets because it helps in variety of scalability, and we can do different types of edge detection. That's it. My name is Kapil Yadav.
So are we done, or do we have any other groups to make a presentation in the forenoon session? Well, in that case, we are very clearly in for a very interesting session where we have several different aspects of wavelets being explored in terms of application. Now, the process would be, in fact, we are lucky that we have a room where we can have sufficient spacing. Everybody can make an exhibition of their own application in some part of the room. So we have 4 rows. I would assume that we could have about 5 to 6 groups making an exhibition on each of the rows, and that will comfortably accommodate everybody. We probably don't need to use another room. If we do need to, we'll see, but I think we can probably accommodate. So let's take about 10 minutes and organize ourselves in such a way that we have comfortable space for the exhibition on the, so you can exhibit what you have on the tables, and you can sit on the chairs, and people can come and sit and see and look at your exhibition properly. So organize yourself. So let's do one thing, let's do it systematically. We'll go in order. From this side, we'll do 1, 3, 5 and so on in order. And so 1, 3, 5, and then the VJTI group can be here, perhaps on the front. VJTI groups can be on the front. I mean, you don't have to be very strict. strict about the ordering, but roughly. So let's do an organization of the locations. Let's have group 1 here. May I see you raise your hands, please? Group 1, group 3. Group 3 is not there. Group 5. Yeah, so you can come a little bit forward. There's enough space here. So leave one bench between groups. I don't think we need to leave more space than that. But leave one bench between groups. And then you have, so let's go in order. So leave one bench between groups. And then we have group 5. So group 5, you can organize yourself here. Group 7, yeah, group 7 can go there. Group 9. Group 9. Okay, so group 9 can, or you can come here perhaps, since you can come here. Group 9. Group 11. Why don't you come here? Why you, group 11 can come here. Pardon me? Oh, you need a point, all right. Group 13 can come here. So, all the people who are observing the session, please don't sit for the moment. Let the groups organize themselves. Group 11. Group 13. Okay. Okay, group 13 is here. Group 11. Okay. Where is group 9? 9 is here. 11 here. 13. 13 goes there. So group 11 comes here. No, you said you're doing it there. Okay, so you'll have to come here. You have to charge it somewhere, Group 13. Group 15 can be there. Yeah, there. Group 15. Group 17. You can be there. Group 20. Group 19. Group 19 can. You can have it here. You can have it here. Group 21. Group. Group 19. Group 21. Group 21. You can come here. Group 23. 23. Group 25. Somewhere there. Yeah. Oh, you're 23. So, yeah, you can be anywhere in between, right? Group anywhere where you're comfortable. Group, that makes it group 23. Group 25. Yeah, you can come there. Group 27. Yeah, go there. Huh? Okay. Group 29. All right. Yeah, but everybody cannot get those terminals. So you will have to see, otherwise you'll have to make use of. Yeah. There are some here too. Yeah. So group 29, group 31. Yeah, group 31 you can go there. Group 33 there. Okay. Group 35. Okay, there. Group 37 can come here, somewhere here. Find the space in between where it's vacant. Group 30, what was your group number? 37. 39. 39. 39 you can be there somewhere. 41. 41. And 43, there's no 43. So now the VGTI group. You could find a place where you are comfortable in between, leaving a space or two between the other groups and organize yourself. Now, so I request all the groups to organize themselves, and those who are observing the session will now need to go around, and you can leave sufficient space for people to sit behind you or in front of you and see what you have done. That's why you leave enough space so that people can see what you have done and talk to you. Yeah. So now we invite everybody to go around. Now, of course, those who are making a presentation will need to be stationed at your group location. So you may not be able to see all the presentations in that session. But the ones who are observing the session are now encouraged to go around. And for these, we will be taking attendance periodically in the session because we expect everybody to attend the whole session. we expect everybody to attend the whole session. So we'll be taking attendance, and if anybody is found absent in some part of the session, there'll be a penalty for it.